Welcome to World Power Africa.
Welcome to a new video. Today we will explore some of the most ambitious and innovative projects underway in Africa. These projects demonstrate growth and economic development in Africa, and the region's desire to position itself on the international scene as a major competitor. We will explore the goals of these projects, the challenges they must overcome to succeed, and the benefits they will bring to their respective communities. Through these projects, Africa continues to prove that it is a region in constant evolution and full of potential, offering investment and development opportunities for years to come. So without further ado, we begin. 10. The TransAfrican Railway Development Project. The TransAfrican Railway Development Project is an ambitious project to build a modern railway network across Africa, connecting the continent's major cities and ports. It notably includes the construction of sections connecting Algeria, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. The aim is to boost trade and economic integration by enabling faster and more efficient movement of goods and people. The project was launched in 2012 at the African Union Conference on Infrastructure and is currently under implementation. Several countries have already started building sections of the Trans-African Railway line, including Kenya, Ethiopia, Nigeria, and South Africa. Regarding the countries of Algeria, Niger, Burkina Faso and Mali, it is expected that the railway line will pass through several cities and ports in these countries, with terminals planned in Algiers, Niamey, Ouagadougou and Bamako. Funding for the project is being provided by a mix of sources, including African governments, international partners, private investors and development banks. The total cost of the project is not yet known, as it is still under construction, but it is estimated at several $billion. The project is expected to be completed in the coming years, thereby contributing to Africa's economic and social development. Africa is full of many ambitious development projects that have the potential to transform the continent. From the development of renewable energies to the construction of new transport infrastructure, these projects aim to stimulate economic growth and improve the quality of life of populations. However, much more needs to be done to realize these projects and implement them effectively, and of course, there are many other development projects in Africa, such as the construction of hydroelectric dams, the creation of industrial parks, improvement of road and port infrastructure, and many others. These projects are essential to stimulate economic growth, improve the quality of life of local populations, and promote regional integration. What other development projects in Africa do you think would be important to mention? As an audience, do you think these development projects are enough to meet Africa's current challenges? What are the major obstacles to carrying out these projects and how can they be overcome? How can we all help support the development of Africa and its people? We are waiting for your reactions to the comments, and we'll see you next time. 9. The African Solar Energy Development Project, the construction of large-scale solar power plants to meet the continent's growing energy needs. The Africa Solar Energy Development Project involves the construction of several large-scale solar power plants across the continent. This project aims to meet Africa's growing energy needs while reducing its dependence on fossil fuels and combating climate change. The project start and end dates may vary depending on the different individual projects that will be implemented in each country, but some projects have already started to be implemented. For example, the Noor solar power plant in Ouarzazate, Morocco, has been in operation since 2016 and is one of the largest solar power plants in the world. In terms of financing, the Africa Solar Energy Development Project is supported by several international partners, including the African Development Bank, the European Investment Bank, the World Bank, the European Union and other investors. Private financing can vary depending on individual projects, but the investments required are generally very high due to the expensive nature of solar technology. 8. The Hassenmassad Newtown Development Project in Algeria, the construction of a new town intended to accommodate approximately 300,000 inhabitants and to offer modern housing, services and infrastructure to meet the needs of the growing population of the region. The project to develop the new town of Hassenmassad in Algeria was announced in 2012 by the Algerian government as part of its national economic and social development program. The project aims to build a modern new city to meet the growing needs of the region's population and to develop the region's economic sectors. The total cost of the project is estimated at $3 billion and its completion is planned in several phases. The first phase of the project began in 2013 and consisted of the construction of 5,000 housing units as well as basic infrastructure such as roads, schools, hospitals, and sports facilities. The second phase, which began in 2017, aims to build another 10,000 homes, shopping centers, hotels, parks, and gardens. The third phase, which is expected to begin in 2021, plans to build another 20,000 homes as well as research and technological innovation centers. Funding for the project is provided by the Algerian government as well as international partners such as the African Development Bank and the European Investment Bank. The project is expected to create local jobs and stimulate economic development in the region. 7. The Lagos-Calabar Railway Line Construction Project in Nigeria. The construction of a 1,400 km railway line connecting Lagos, the largest city in Nigeria, to Calabar, an important port city. The proposed construction of the Lagos-Calabar Railway Line was announced in 2014 by the federal government of Nigeria. This is a large-scale project that aims to improve the country's rail transport infrastructure and facilitate trade and commerce in the region. Construction of the railway line is expected to be completed in 2023, although there have been delays in the past. The total cost of the project is estimated at around $11 billion, with funding coming from both the Nigerian government and international lenders, such as the China Export-Import Bank and the African Development Bank. The project is also expected to create local jobs and promote economic development in the regions crossed by the railway line. 6. The Lamu Port Development Project in Kenya. The construction of a deepwater port which is expected to become the largest port in East Africa and a major transport hub for the entire region. The Kenya Lamu Port Development Project is a major project to construct a deepwater port on the northern coast of Kenya in the town of Lamu. The port will be capable of handling large ships, up to 100,000 tons, and is expected to become the largest port in East Africa. The project also includes the construction of a transport corridor linking Lamu Port to key economic zones in northern Kenya, as well as Ethiopia and South Sudan. This transport corridor will include a highway, a railway line and an oil pipeline to transport crude oil from South Sudan to the port of Lamu. The total cost of the project is estimated at around $24 billion, a large part of which will be financed by China. The Kenyan government also plans to mobilize funds from other international partners to finance the project. The project is seen as a catalyst for economic development in the region, creating new jobs and improving the efficiency of freight transport. However, it is also criticized for its potential impact on the environment, particularly on the region's marine and coastal ecosystems. 5. The Nigeria-Algeria Gas Pipeline Project. The Nigeria-Algeria Gas Pipeline is a gas pipeline project that would connect Nigeria to Algeria, crossing several West African countries. Since its launch in 2002, the Nigeria-Algeria Gas Pipeline Project has experienced several delays and obstacles. In 2009, Nigeria's state-owned natural gas company signed a $15 billion deal with the China State Construction Engineering Corporation to build the pipeline. However, due to funding and security concerns, the project was postponed several times. In 2018, the Nigerian and Algerian governments decided to revive the project and signed a memorandum of understanding for the construction of the pipeline. The project is expected to be carried out in two phases, with a first phase linking Nigeria to Niger and a second phase linking Niger to Algeria. Construction is expected to begin in 2022 and commissioning of the gas pipeline is planned for 2025. Financing for the project is expected to be provided by public and private investors, as well as loans from international banks. 4. The Great Green Wall Project. The Great Green Wall Project is an initiative of the African Union to combat desertification and climate change in Africa. The goal is to plant a belt of trees 8,000 kilometers long and 15 kilometers wide that crosses Africa, from Dakar to Djibouti, passing through 11 African countries, including Senegal, Mauritania, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Nigeria, Chad, Sudan, Eritrea, Ethiopia, and Djibouti. The project was launched in 2007 and aims to restore around 100 million hectares of degraded land in Africa by 2030. The total cost of the project is estimated at around $8 billion. The project is funded by different actors, including African governments, international organizations such as the World Bank and the European Union, as well as private companies and philanthropic donors. For example, the World Bank announced $4.5 billion in funding for the project in 2021, while the European Union allocated $4 billion over a 5-year period to support the initiative. The project has already resulted in the planting of millions of trees and the restoration of degraded lands in several African countries. However, much remains to be done to achieve the ambitious goal of the Great Green Wall. 3. The African Continental Free Trade Area (AfCFTA) project, the creation of a continental-scale free trade area to stimulate intra-African trade and promote economic integration. The African Continental Free Trade Area (AfCFTA) is an African Union project that aims to create a free trade area across Africa to boost intra-African trade and foster economic integration. The project was launched in 2018 and is being gradually implemented. The AfCFTA is considered the world's largest trade agreement in terms of the number of countries involved, bringing together 55 African countries. It aims to eliminate tariff and non-tariff barriers to trade between African countries, as well as to facilitate the free movement of people, goods, and services on the continent. The project is expected to boost intra-African trade and strengthen Africa's economic position in the world. It is also seen as a tool to promote the industrial development of the continent and create jobs for young Africans. In terms of finances, the implementation of the AfCFTA requires significant investments in infrastructure, technology, and trade capacity. The exact costs are not yet known, but funds are being mobilized from international and regional partners to support the project. Steps are also being taken to strengthen the capacity of African businesses to benefit from the AfCFTA and to increase investment in key sectors of the African economy. 2. The Grand Inga project in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Grand Inga Dam project was first proposed in the 1950s, but its completion was delayed due to various factors, including political unrest, economic difficulties, and environmental issues. Work was started in 1972 on the construction of the Inga I Dam, followed by the construction of the Inga II Dam in 1982. Since then, there have been several proposals and attempts to build the Grand Inga Dam, but the project failed. Not yet been achieved. The current project to extend the Grand Inga Dam in Boma, with an expected output of 42,000 megawatts, has been entrusted to Australian billionaire Andrew Forrest and his Fortescue Metals Group. The $80 billion investment for the project was announced in 2021, but there is no specific date yet for the start of work. However, the Fortescue Group indicated that the project would be carried out in phases, with the first phase being the construction of a 2.4 gigawatts hydroelectric power station. One, the Morocco-Nigeria Gas Pipeline Project. The Nigeria-Morocco Gas Pipeline Project is a project to develop a gas pipeline connecting Nigeria and Morocco over a distance of more than 4,000 kilometers. The gas pipeline should cross a dozen African countries and make it possible to export Nigerian natural gas to Morocco and Europe. The Morocco-Nigeria Gas Pipeline Project is at an advanced stage, with preliminary engineering studies underway and an environmental impact assessment and rights-of-way investigations. The megaproject is financed to the tune of $25 billion, of which the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NPCIL, plans to invest $12.5 billion to obtain a 50% stake. The pipeline is expected to cover approximately 5,600 kilometers, cross 11 African countries and benefit 440 million Africans. 5 tripartite memorandums of understanding were signed between Morocco and Nigeria on the one hand, and Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea, Sierra Leone and Ghana on the other hand. The project aims to guarantee the energy security of African and European countries and to strengthen Morocco's position as a leader in investment in Africa. World Power Africa wishes you many thanks to each of you for your support. Stay tuned for exciting new surprises to comings to our next videos.